Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Je m'appelle Jyotsna.
Je m'appelle Sam.
And this is
Happenstance. The podcast where we give... I'm going German.
The podcast where we give our stance on
on
a TV show or a movie we haven't seen.
We have never seen movie. It's too in between for me.
Cinema.
Cinema. What's up with you today?
Well, we were just talking about this earlier, but I've been thinking about accessorizing.
Tough.
And like just the perils of that.
You said specifically that you don't like to accessorize because accessories embarrass you.
Yeah, because I just hate having anything on my body that people can comment on.
Well, it's like wearing anything that's like a choice.
Yeah.
Like, because you have to wear a top, you have to
Yes.
wear bottoms, you have to wear shoes in most corners of society.
Right.
The rest
Yeah.
is fashion.
The rest is like begs to be spoken about.
Begs to be commented
Yeah,
on.
yeah, exactly. And I think ideally, like, it's just like with everything, you just want to make it seem like you're not trying, but you're slaying anyway, you know what I mean? And accessories just prove that you thought about it.
You definitely thought about it. But I think people respect you more for thinking about it a little, but then you have to just get it right.
Yeah.
You have to do well on the pop quiz that is accessorizing.
Right.
And then you can earn
but you also have to be like,
respect.
oh, this whole thing? Like, you do have to be like that about it, too.
Well, as a famous Parisian mademoiselle once said, you put on all your accessories and then you take two off.
I thought it was one, but maybe it's two.
I thought it was two, but then that also immediately makes me think, how many accessories does this woman have on?
Well, that's what I'm thinking about, too, because like maybe it should be a percentage. Like 50% of the accessories you put on, you then
that's
take
more
off.
modern. This would slay on TikTok.
Yes.
I don't know if it's 50% seems too high.
You think so?
I think it's a quarter, but that implies that you have to have at least four or multiple of four
if your only
accessories
accessories are like your earrings, then you have to take one of your earrings off or something.
That works if you're a man, but not if you're a woman, I would argue.
God.
I know. Gender. That's
Gender.
where gender's playground accessorizing. And that's tricky too.
Yeah.
That's tricky
well,
too.
that's the thing. You're inherently making a statement. Like, today, I'm going to be more feminine by wearing these specific accessories. Like,
yeah.
That's a whole vibe that you've chosen for yourself.
I sometimes do that specifically before dates. And I, in my mind, call it girling up.
Oh.
I gotta girl up today.
Yeah, you gotta perform femininity.
I gotta really give them girl today.
I feel the opposite. I'm like worried about over accessorizing on dates. But also they don't care or notice. Yeah.
I don't know. I go out with dudes who wear like a thumb ring. What about you?
I'm going out with dudes that have the tag sticking up the back of their shirt.
Okay. I've got out with two men from the apps who have worn a thumb ring to our first date.
That's
in the past like
insane.
6 months.
That's crazy.
And then at some point on the date, whether or not it's true, I say, I like your thumb ring. And then just see what they say back.
Wait, so it wasn't true, or was it true for one of them?
I liked one of them's thumb ring and the other one I didn't. But either way, I was like, we got to get to the bottom of this.
What was the difference? What did you like about the first one?
I don't remember which order it was in, but one guy could just pull off a thumb ring.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Right.
And it was a cooler thumb ring. And the other guy, it was like, this is one of my classic types, was like, white Jewish guy who was trying to be more like Drake, if that makes sense.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
He was like wearing a big Carhartt tee, but it looks like when you're a little kid at the beach and you put a big t-shirt on over your bathing suit.
Over your sunburnt body.
Yes, but he thought it was like Hotline Bling. You know, he thought it was
and then
like
a thumb ring.
Cool.
To top it all off.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You probably wouldn't have even thought about that if he didn't have the thumb ring. That's the danger of accessories. It like might lead someone down the wrong path.
Of your identity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I think this was exactly this guy's identity. This white Jewish guy who wants to be like Drake.
Look, you know who loves accessories? Freaking Sherlock Holmes. He loves when people have accessories.
Though.
Well, no, he's slaying, but when he loves when other people do, because then he gets information.
It's the clues.
Yes.
Same for like psych. Basically all that type of guy.
Yeah.
Guys who are really good at observing and doing deduction.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's who I'm scared of me accessorizing. Like, what if those guys are around and they're drawing conclusions?
Well, accessories, I think they're, you have to be on the lookout for that type of guy, but then also like the Miranda Priestley sort, who's doing the famous quote of, "Oh, you're wearing cerulean? Mm-hmm. I picked that 3 years ago. And you got it from the dumpster where the rats live."
Right.
Sucks.
And the truth is, all of my accessories are from the dumpster where the rats live.
live.
Or my dad ordered them on Sky Mall.
Wow. From the lowest of low to the highest of highs.
Literally, physically the highest.
That's where the two places you can get accessories.
They're all from to 10,000 feet in the
different
air.
elevations. at sea level, basically. Yeah. Wow. All my accessories are from an elderly person who's passed away.
Huh.
Haunted. That's a whole nother layer of accessories that can be a problem. What if they're haunted?
Totally. They always are in movies.
Know. Like the mask.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Technically, a mask is an accessory.
And haunted? You
and
think
an identity.
Wait, is the mask haunted, or I guess it's possessed?
I thought it was possessed by like a semi-problematic like demon from Africa vibes.
I kind of think it's just a guy. The mask is just a guy,
like a cool guy who wears a zoot suit.
And you're like, hey, now it's like Venom. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Now there's another guy in your life.
I hate to say this, but what is he?
Is he an accessory?
Is he a demon? Is he a ghost? Is he an accessory? What the fuck is Venom? I have no idea what a parasite. He's a parasite.
Is a parasite an accessory?
Or a ghost? Yeah.
I do think people are bragging about their tapeworms as if they're fucking Gucci earrings.
I know that's right. A medical problem? That's something you're bringing up. That's like, look at my bag. I'm being like, did you know I have acid reflux lately at every turn?
Yeah. Instead of other people commenting on your scarf, you're commenting on your
my own acid reflux and showing it off.
Still throat related.
Elegant. Elegant, an accessory of the throat.
What's going on with you?
Now I'm just thinking about Venom. Well, I don't know how to say. I feel like I just talked about my dating life. I feel like there's been a lot of dudes popping up lately. I feel like the universe has been kind of presenting me with dudes.
Yeah.
Not in any kind of meaningful way.
No.
But like a week ago, I had a flat tire.
Yeah.
And I saw it the night before, and then I woke up at like 7 a.m. the next day to go. I was like, I'm going to change this tire. I'm going to put some hair on my chest and handle this.
Yeah.
And I was like into it. I looked really bad and was probably stinky. But so there I am lying on the sidewalk semi-near to our house, and I'm just starting to think like, in down south, they have their problems, but some man would have already stopped and helped me with this. Yeah. And I was kind of resenting the weak men of Los Angeles.
Yeah, / the more equitable gender dynamics.
I was. And I was also you know me, I'm extreme. I was also being like, why don't I just ride a horse?
Yeah.
I can take care of a horse better than a car. I can communicate with a horse better about its problems.
Right.
I was really trying to throw it back.
And if a horse has a flat tire, you just shoot it to death.
Yeah.
Simple.
Get a new horse, sell it for meat if times are hard.
Glue.
I would like to ideally be in a place where I could keep that horse to just like ride the kids around the yard. I also have children. I'm a trad wife in the 1800s, I guess.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And then I could get a new horse to go to town.
You already would have another horse. You just had to be like, now I got to ride old Bessie.
Maybe I'm living a cooler life and I would have to go tame a wild stallion to get a new horse to ride to town.
Well, you already had like another horse you had your eye on that would now and then like would come and go like at you, and then you would like
I had a dynamic with an outside horse.
Yeah. And then now you'd be like, it's your time.
I have to tame this horse to take to town.
Also, your mom's dying in the village and you have to go see her or something.
Oh my god, stakes.
Yeah,
terrible. Travel, man. Transport sucks. But I'm laying on the ground on the sidewalk having these thoughts, and then an incredibly hot man jogs up to me. He has an accent. His name is Juan Pablo. He changes the tire for me and is our neighbor.
Wow.
Stunning. I was like mouth agape.
Yeah. And where did that lead?
It led to me being mouth agape. Never a good vibe.
It was stinky. Dressed poorly.
Stinky and mouth breathing at this random hot man who surfaced on the sidewalk. And then he told me that his job is selling Chinese lanterns on Amazon, and that you can make at least 5,000 a month doing that.
You can make 5,000 a month doing that?
That's what he said. And then I said, do you need an intern? And he said, and looked away. Sucks. And then we exchanged phone numbers. And he told me to text him when I fixed the tire.
Have you texted him?
No, but in part it was because A, I was stinky that day, and B, I went to the tire shop and got the tire checked, and the tire guy said there's nothing wrong with the tire. It was a sensor in my car.
You should just lie to him and say, thank you.
You saved my life.
Saved my life. The tire guy said I would have died had I driven on that tire.
A sexy man from Mexico hadn't run up and handled it for you.
Or alternatively, you should be like, hey, I'm in dire need of some Chinese lanterns.
That's interesting. I would love to be in a situation. This is exactly actually the kind of situation the girl we're talking about today would be in.
Oh.
It's a time when she desperately needs
some Chinese
thousands of Chinese paper lanterns.
Paper lanterns.
So that an event can slay. And the other thing about me is that it's been really hot and dry lately. And so I'm having red, raw knuckles.
Wow. That all really reminds me of the two things we're going to talk about today.
Surprise, guys. It's a twofer.
It's a twofer.
2 for 1.
Emily in Paris
and Knuckles! The series.
Happenstance.
All right. So kicking things off
with old
our
Emily.
girl Emily.
Right.
One thing I would like to get out ahead of is that Emily in Paris does not have a theme song.
Oh.
You would think based on the vibes that it should have one.
Yeah, it should go like, ding, 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 it's Emily.
I think it should go, wait, do the ding, ding, ding again.
Ding, ding, ding.
Emily in Paris.
Okay. Okay, I like that.
And I think if it was like 2004, the show would have been called Emily in Paris.
Instead of Emily in Paris?
Yes. And its vibes are Emily in Paris.
Okay.
It's like a kid's show.
Is it not
for
supposed
adult women
to be like pronounced like that, perhaps? Emily in Paris?
They're not telling us that. They're not
Okay.
teaching us that. Like everyone calls it Emily in Paris.
They should also spell it like Paree and really lean
and
into
just
the
go
whole
for
thing.
it.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that. They chose not to do that.
You know there were board meetings about that.
There should have been.
I
I'm
bet
worried
there
weren't.
were.
Why did they do that?
I bet interns were supplying endless LaCroix to a meeting about should it be Emily in Paris or Emily in Paris.
Do you think they were like, we're going to lose middle America if we lean into the French accent too much? This is a show that needs middle America.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they just flipped a coin about it.
That's unacceptable to me. The vibe would be so fun if everyone in the show is like, Emily in Paris? All the time. But it's not like that. It is
Okay.
that fun though. It has that energy.
Okay. And you've seen it.
I have definitely watched the first season. I've definitely watched the second season.
Okay.
And then after that, unclear.
Okay. Well, what's interesting is I've been thinking this whole time that we're talking about Emily in Paris season 3 because that just came out. But actually,
Dun, dun, dun.
season 4 just came out.
Yeah. She's been in Paris for a minute.
For 4 years.
For a long while.
Yeah.
And I'm worried that I thought this was season 3 too.
Okay.
And so I either watched season 3 in a haze, which is possible, and then it completely left my brain.
Right.
Or I'm ignorant as to what Emily has done in Paris.
For a
2
whole
years.
season. That's crazy.
That's so crazy.
No, surely not.
Surely not, but I don't know. I've been really thinking about Emily in Paris this week because I have like these standout memories about it. And then I watched it majority in the depths of the pandemic. And like with my sister, we're both living at home. We needed her.
Yeah.
We needed Emily to be in Paris.
Yeah. That's kind of the vibe I was getting because I've never seen a single second of the show.
Yeah.
And yet I feel like I know about it because I remember like when it first came out, everyone was like, this is the worst show I've ever seen. Nothing happens. And yet somehow everyone managed to watch the whole thing.
Everyone was like, thank God.
Yeah. And they watched like all of it.
I think it's because it's that thing that I was craving during the pandemic, which I may or may not have talked about on the podcast, where like on streaming services, they always be like a thrilling night in. scary and exciting. Like they always try to make stuff sounds like so much stuff happens in it.
Yeah.
And during the pandemic, I definitely could not deal with that.
Yeah, you want something that
I
you
wanted
can
to
watch
boring palate cleanser TV
with your eyes half closed.
Yes.
And like, yeah.
Or like your mind elsewhere.
Totally.
And that's what Emily was, I think.
That makes sense. It's just interesting that like it's still going like that because I feel like we're in a different space culturally, you would think.
I think we are. And I think based on the little research I did of what Emily's been doing for the past 2 years, they came to play.
Oh.
They said, oh, people are not bored inside anymore. We have to kick things up a notch. They did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So what I know about Emily in Paris, because I'm the uneducated one here.
Right.
Yeah. One, they're wearing outfits.
Top thing. Mostly just her.
Oh.
Her and the bestie.
That's funny. I would think they would lean into the Paris of it all and have everyone be wearing like Moulin Rouge style.
That oscillates. We can get into that a little more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and I know she moves to Paris. I thought she worked in like PR, but you're saying event planning, or you hinted at that.
Same thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
So she's doing like some kind of like soft skills, vague job, and she doesn't know anything about French or anything.
No, she doesn't know anything about French.
Okay.
Definitely.
And she's just dealing with minor crises that all somehow kind of work out, even though she's failing, and then she keeps getting promoted or whatever, or like just doing well. And she keeps like sleeping with guys that are hot, but that like she shouldn't because they have a girlfriend or something, but then actually no one's mad about it.
And how would you summarize that in one word? Slay.
Slay. Okay.
That's how I would summarize it.
All
a
right.
nice bland slay.
Okay.
You can really like a just white sheet cake. You can just keep eating it. Sprinkles on top.
Yeah. And there's like it feels like you didn't eat anything at the end.
And how French is that?
And then your dentist is like, you have 6 cavities.
And you're like, who? Me? Because what Emily in Paris, I think, teaches us and why we needed it during the pandemic is your summary was essentially 100% right. But the whole reason she's just not worried.
Okay.
She's not worried about not knowing about French stuff. She's not worried about like taking these big swings in PR with no KPIs. She's just doing her thing. She's not worried about sleeping with girlfriend guys. Because Emily, you can tell, believes that she always has enough and more's always coming. You know?
Wow.
She's relaxed.
And that's probably why everyone lets her get away with everything.
She's manifesting her incredible life.
But also, like, how can you be mad at someone who's just like, what? Like, you can't be really.
And she always has a solution.
Okay.
That's the thing. She's not like, what? Emily always has like 6 backup plans.
Okay.
And they all involve her knowing just what to say.
Oh, she's a charisma queen.
Yes, she's a charisma queen, or she like has some solution or like a connection to someone else. Like where if Emily needed suddenly at the end of the episode 3,000 Chinese paper lanterns, you best believe at the beginning of the episode
a
she
guy
met
would have
Chinese lantern guy who was hot, and then we were like, why did that happen?
Yeah.
And then she has it.
That's
in the
some
bag.
tight plotting right there.
Everything in her life is very connected and makes it just sing. It just
That's so
works.
funny because in a way, this is exactly like Ugly Betty, except
instead of being like, what?
Yeah.
She's got it.
But also, Ugly Betty does usually manage to pull off the victory.
Yes.
But everyone kind of hates her the whole time.
And she has much stress and is dressed bad and has an ugly boyfriend.
Yes. She's also over-accessorizing.
She needed to take 2 off. Ugly Betty is probably usually wearing 8 accessories.
At least.
A
and
belt.
8 patterns as well.
Yeah. Poor Ugly Betty.
Yeah. Wasn't even ugly at all. Just
over-accessorized Betty. And that's the danger you're in if you're over-accessorizing.
That's what I'm thinking about when I'm wearing an accessory. I'm like, am I accidentally Ugly Betty right now?
Can't know.
It's impossible to know.
Emily in Paris could diagnose you as Ugly Betty or not, but I just don't think that's our place. You know?
Yeah.
And Emily can overdo it.
Okay.
Emily, what I would say happens sartorially in Emily in Paris. In the first season, you're like, she's wearing cute, bright outfits.
Okay.
And they're chic. And you're like, she is slaying.
Okay.
And everyone else around her in Paris is dressed kind of like Paris Muppets. Like they're wearing bright colors and like, sure, cute. And then she has this one best friend who I do want to talk about more, who's also going to be dressing, but like wearing a weird hat with a feather. And then as seasons go, Emily's outfits get bigger and crazier and uglier. and everyone else's outfits are just being ordered from ASOS, and they like don't care about them.
Okay.
Is, I would say, the trajectory of fashion in Emily in Paris.
Interesting. More slang leads to more accessories and just swings, more big swings.
It's big swings. It becomes more cartoonish as she goes. Because whatever last season I watched of Emily in Paris, I think it was with Jenna, and we were both being like, she's wearing that? New territory for Emily.
I think it's good because, like, the thing is, it sounds like a pretty boring show plot-wise. So at least this is giving you one extra thing to think about.
You can always think about that.
Yeah.
And the setting.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Well, like, the other day, our third roommate, Maya, was watching Gossip Girl. And she's like, have you ever seen it? And I was like, well, I walked in and out of Sam watching it. And, like, the only thing... Because I couldn't grasp the plot because there's just so much going on and all doesn't really matter. All I remember is those necklaces, the big chunky
Stanky statement necklaces.
Yes, that were always just kind of wrong, but they're there for me to talk about.
They were
like,
accessorized.
Truly don't need to know what happens because there's always a necklace to look
and
at.
Drama.
Yeah.
And that's pretty good. And if that's all that's going on in your life, that's a good good dream
life.
of womanhood.
Yes.
Yeah. What's awesome about Emily in Paris too is it's like basically a cartoon of a woman slaying that could mostly be like for children, except she is getting it on.
How explicit is the sex?
In my memory, more explicit than it actually is.
Okay.
Which is funny.
Oh.
Because when I watched Emily during the pandemic, there's gasp out loud moments. Because it's so jarring. That she's kind of being like, oh, hello, where should I go today? Like in a door type way. To work? Soleil. And then later is like, definitely like hand on the ass at least.
Okay.
And it's always with somebody who is like taken.
Wow.
And they are hot and they're addicted to her.
And they're all taken? That's
and
so
it's like a
wild.
dream. It's just a dream. And it's cool because Emily, like, she's openly sex positive too. Like, I feel like she has lines that are like, I would never feel ashamed of my awesome sexuality. And you're like, yes. But she also lives in a world where nothing that bad can happen to her. So there's like no danger.
Right.
The danger's just, they always have some GF.
Yeah.
Who Emily also has great vibes with because Emily has great vibes with everyone.
Right. And then
pretty cool problem.
So is the girlfriend at the end of this like mad really usually, or is it like?
It depends. Oh, if there's one thing it's gonna do, it's gonna depend.
Okay.
Because there's layers to it usually. Go ahead.
I'm just like fascinated by like the children's TV rhythm of it, but then also with the like sexuality.
It's fun.
It's really interesting. That's interesting.
It's like it's a dream of just being a woman.
But like, what age group do you think it was conceived for?
I think it works for ages literally like 12 to mom.
Okay.
I think you're getting the whole house.
Wow.
Of at least femmes during COVID to watch this.
Interesting. Because I could see like, because this also feels like a Disney Channel show, like even like the way it looks and stuff. But and like the goofy best friend with the feather and like just a vague job where that involves like weird props and running around, whatever. Beautiful setting.
No, I remember initially being totally shocked by the amount of action Emily's getting after you watch a couple episodes. Other things that are shocking, her incredible acidic boss. She has this older female boss who is a real French actress who only wears like chic black with gold accessories and is also having like an incredible sex life that Emily like knows about, and she's awesome.
She's
Miranda
Priestley? Okay.
But like more minimal. It's more chic.
Okay.
More acidic. You're like, oh my god, her wounds. Like, I love the boss.
Is she like mad at Emily, or
she is like sometimes mad at Emily? She's mad at Emily when Emily deserves it, and she doesn't praise Emily as openly as everyone else, which makes Emily want it more from her.
Yeah.
But then when she does praise Emily, it's more real.
Yeah.
She's like, Emily respects her.
Wow.
Yeah. She's awesome.
Well, Emily needs to fear someone, it seems, because she just...
I know. She's not afraid of our God or the empty universe. She's got it handled. But she's not even that afraid of her boss. Emily is also the top girl boss, and that she's like wheeling and dealing and will be like assertive at a business meeting.
Okay.
Emily doesn't give a F.
Okay.
If anyone wants to stop her from being CEO vibes or doing it.
This is literally like actualized Ugly Betty.
Honestly, yes. But being played by like an incredibly thin white woman who's a Nepo baby. So
Totally.
tricky.
Wait, who is she?
Lily Collins, daughter of Phil Collins.
What?
Inventor of prog rock and the
Inventor
Tarzan
of the
soundtrack.
amazing song Susudio.
Exactly. I can feel it coming. So she doesn't, she had, that was her legacy. That's her inheritance.
She didn't need to do anything. And that's why she's so confident.
And Emily too.
I bet Emily's real dad is also Phil Collins.
Emily's from like Chicago or somewhere you wouldn't think Emily's from. And we know nothing about her family. She doesn't even have a family.
Wow.
All she has is like an ex-boyfriend who's like a finance guy in the States who like calls her on the phone during like the first 3 episodes. And then she's like, we're done.
Slay.
And she's just over it.
Slay.
Bounces back.
It is slay to like be from nothing in a way. Like she has no backstory. She has nothing. Yeah.
It's just like Carrie Bradshaw. Because I always thought it was interesting during the course of Sex and the City that they never talk about their families.
They never talk about their families?
Ever.
Wow.
That does not happen
That
in
is such
Sex
a
and the
long
City.
show.
They live in like the bubble of like cosmopolitan New York. And that's by Darren Star. This is also by Darren Star.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It literally is Sex and the City, except the city is Paris.
And it's much tamer. It's sexually much tamer than Sex and the City if you're watching the real HBO thing.
Right.
And they're talking a lot cleaner. But it's interesting because Sex and the City was originally supposed to be for gay guys.
Oh.
Because Darren Star's a gay guy, but he couldn't sell that in the late 90s.
Totally.
And then Emily in Paris can't be a gay guy, I think.
No.
Emily in Paris is like a robot white woman. And I don't know if gay men like Emily. Like, I don't know where they stand. I don't feel like I'm dishing Emily in Paris with
gay
any
men. Email us.
How do you feel about Emily?
How do you feel about Emily in Paris?
In Paris. Do you feel about her at all?
Yeah. Are you tuning in?
I don't know. And I don't know what Darren Chris. Oh,
no, I wish.
No, you can't. I said his name twice. If we say it a third time,
He'll appear.
He'll appear. And we're gonna have to unpack Glee. We can't do that on this episode. We have to talk about Knuckles.
We have to talk about Knuckles.
Darren Star. I don't know how he feels about Emily. In my mind, he's like more hands off about it and has a team of like just 3 millennial writers.
They probably just called him and were like, "Hey, Emily in Paris show," and he was like, "Whatever, put my name on it. I don't give a shit."
But I think tonally, sometimes it is like Sex and the City.
Okay.
Like, I think Emily in Paris started really bad, became famous because it was COVID and it was so bad.
Right.
They picked it up in the 2nd season.
Really?
Emily in Paris becomes significantly better in the 2nd season.
What happens in the 2nd season?
The plot, more plot. It
Okay.
gets a little more real. They're just giving you more of what you want to see from Emily.
And more accessories.
Yes. I think, honestly, outfits worse, plot better.
Interesting.
Is sort of the path of Emily
the
in Paris.
budget was going in different
directions. But I think they saw the attention they were getting and then they were like, we need to step it up.
Yeah.
But then I either watched and forgot season 3 or totally fell off and didn't even get the memo it came out because I was back to my real life.
Right.
Being Emily
in your own life.
Being my own I'm Emily now.
Yeah. You need Emily when you can't be Emily.
Exactly.
And then once you can be Emily, you can let it go.
Once you can strive towards whatever Emily looks like for you.
Yeah. It's just like your relationship with your parents. Like at some point you start trying to be them and stop needing them as much.
Whoa. Do you feel like you're trying to be your parents?
I mean, I'm trying to like live a adult life and they were my best
example.
example.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's how, when I was changing my own tire,
yeah,
I was like being my dad. Which is why I didn't expect a hot guy to
show
run
up.
Because I was like, is that happening to my dad?
Maybe it is.
Who's to say?
Hey, maybe your dad is getting some phone numbers.
I think if you're a man and you run up to another man to try to fix his tire,
you're fighting now.
You're in a risky space.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of dudes would appreciate it. But it's I just don't think they have the emotional tools to accept it. Maybe
men learn to accept help.
We accept the help we think we deserve.
Men deserve help.
Men deserve help.
We're the #1 male advocates podcast,
which is shocking because this is such a male advocacy space. But usually it's them doing it on their own behalf.
Well, I mean, the men's rights people don't actually care about men; they just hate women. So
say that
we love women and men
and non-binary
people and children and animals.
Is there any minerals, plants?
I'm indifferent on plants, actually.
I am too. I famously can't connect with plants because they it's the same as the car. They're not giving you anything.
Well, that's why you love the cars from Cars.
Yeah, it's
because
like,
yeah,
it's we could connect. As we've talked about in many episodes of this podcast, we could connect.
And the alien from Aliens. Yeah, there's creatures you can connect with and others you simply
But they
cannot.
need to have eyes and a mouth for me. Hate to say it. That's sort of where I draw the line.
I do feel like I can connect more to like a pitcher plant that has like a kind of mouth-like thing.
Mm-hmm. An orifice.
An orifice. I need a hole.
You need a hole. You're like, that's vulnerable. That's me.
I can kind of connect with cars because they have a freaking exhaust pipe.
They got an exhaust pipe.
They got headlights, kind of look like eyes.
You can imagine that. Mm-hmm. You can. There's the Jeeps with the mean eyebrows. They do that on purpose.
Yeah.
Someone who works in metal manufacturing was like, what if the Jeep's headlights looked like eyes but mean?
That's the same with like the Volkswagen Beetle. They're
eyelashes.
Like, yeah.
They're always wearing eyelashes. Mm. And sometimes they have lips. I don't like that.
Sexy.
No. You're dressing your Volkswagen Beetle up like, a cheap whore? Like a cabaret girl? Let her be a kid first.
Yeah, that's like the opposite though of like the truck nuts.
Yeah. I would love to see a subversive VW Bug with truck nuts. That would be cool. Here's what I really hate about truck nuts. Mm-hmm. They're flesh colors. They don't match the car.
They should be car colored.
They'd be less offensive that way. Because the thing with nuts is if they blend.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
It's just crazy that truck nuts are allowed and truck dicks probably not allowed.
No one's trying.
Why not?
Because I think the truck is the dick.
The whole truck is the dick.
I think they're being really like...
And the nuts are tiny? That's not anything to brag about.
You can't have bigger nuts than that because they're going to drag the road and get road rash.
That's embarrassing. You have tiny balls, you giant dick car. That's embarrassing for the truck. Sorry.
Okay, I personally think that's like a pretty good setup if you're working with that. I don't think you need to have your balls dragging around.
Symbolically, it's problematic.
I don't think the metaphor's tight. Like, I don't think they thought about all that. Okay. I think it's just... The truck's a dick.
It's also,
or the truck would have to have like a sort of a dildo out of the front, and then the balls way back there.
Yeah,
and then it kind of implies that you get in the shaft every day.
You know what I think?
You get in the perineum that attaches the balls to the shaft.
Okay, this
is too gross.
This is my hot take. If you're gonna have the dick in the front, the back has to be an ass, not nuts.
A truck butt is funny and less offensive
and wholesome. That's kind of wholesome.
Butts are wholesome because kids are allowed to make jokes about butts, but kids can't make jokes about genitals. Yeah, pretty funny. I think if you have truck nuts, you have to have a license plate that's like "Eat my dust" or something. I want a little more from you if you have the nuts.
I think you have to have a sticker that says like Harris 2024.
Come and take it. I feel like truck people always have the "Get my gun" sticker or like the Calvin peeing on something sticker.
I think it has to be like #1 feminist, and then you can have your truck nuts.
That works in LA. I want to see the truck nuts on a VW Bug that also has eyelashes.
Let's get genderqueer with it.
I think someone has that car.
If you see that car, email us.
If you're in LA and you somehow hear this and you have that car, come be on the pod. Let's dish.
If you are listening to this and you have a VW Bug, get truck nuts.
Get truck nuts.
The end.
2024, get truck nuts. The #1 accessory. This podcast is proudly supported by Truck Nuts R Us, manufactured in Illinois.
And if you own that website, give us money.
Love you, truck nuts. Okay. But actually, I think truck nuts are offensive.
Wow, Sam's a prude.
But if they were match the car, I wouldn't think that.
Yeah. Because then it's like not human nuts. Like, why are we putting that on a car?
Yeah, I'm not going to be grossed out if I see a truck's nuts.
Yeah.
It's like if you see like a dog's nuts.
Asshole.
You're always seeing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing the truck's asshole.
Thank God. That's all I have to say. I don't want that. I'm Emily embarrassed. Well, regardless, what I'd like to do is give you a rundown of, I think this will paint a more clear tonal picture of Emily in Paris. Okay. She moves to Paris and is both instantly becomes an influencer and works out of this big prestigious PR firm in France.
Wow.
And it's awesome. She becomes an influencer by like posting a picture of herself with a peace sign, like wearing a scarf in front of the Eiffel Tower. This is like Paris. Wow. And the likes just go up. The likes are coming in.
Wow.
And so Emily can also solve problems by simply posting. because of her influence.
Oh.
She has the entire like 2 million followers for some reason.
Yeah. She has all these like little helpers, like Ant-Man.
Yes. I don't know about that, but yes, I'd assume. Emily and Paul Rudd, they could play each other.
Okay.
Emily could play Ant-Man, whatever, I said it. And Paul Rudd could play Emily.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
He is like a little charming guy.
People that we
He would
like.
look great in a scarf.
Exactly. So that's one tool in Emily's tool belt. And then she works at the PR firm that's run by the incredibly chic, acidic boss, and then has 2 coworkers only, one of whom is a quirky white-haired guy who, in my mind, mostly talks in French noises.
Oh.
Emily. And he teaches her stuff like, in France, we like to ride a bike and take a nap.
Oh, wow.
And he's quirky.
That's valuable.
And he's got jokes. And then the other coworker is a black gay guy who is like Emily, but then she always
wins him over.
Yeah. She
That's
always ends up
good.
saying, but he keeps her in check.
But she does need the approval of like that demographic, I think.
That's one thing she's continually working towards.
Okay.
Sometimes they butt heads a little, but great office to work in. What could you ask for that's more? Her best friend is the wildest character.
Oh.
Her best friend is a Chinese heiress who has been recently cut off by her family for embarrassing them on the Chinese equivalent of American Idol.
Whoa, by being bad at singing?
Yes. And in real life, the actress isn't good at singing, but she moves to Paris to pursue singing in like an indie way.
Whoa. And is she supposed to be bad like in the show too?
She's supposed to like get nervous before she sings, and that's why she lost Chinese Idol and shamed her family, but singing's her passion. But then she does get full songs throughout the series, and every time you're like, what?
Huh.
And she sounds like maybe she could sound better, but kind of like if she sang it the first time in her bedroom.
I think
how she's singing it.
This is also
and that's a slang.
Kind of female wish fulfillment.
It's definitely wish fulfillment. The best friend wears insane outfits from her life as an heiress, but is like poor and has to live with Emily, and all they do is drink coffee and like talk shit. And then the best friend does, what's it called where you sing on the street for money?
Busking.
She does busking with some guy who's supposed to be hot but isn't, but is like wearing eyeliner and playing the guitar. And then moves on from that to being like the star vocalist at an incredible drag burlesque club.
Wow. What a trajectory.
What a trajectory for this gal.
That's so funny because she's like the artist, the struggling artist one, and then Emily's like the slaying corporate one.
Yes, definitely. And she's always being like, Emily, you're getting into it. But then she can invite Emily to like an event.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they have good tit for tat sort of
right.
in each other's lives.
And former rich people know how to live.
Yes. And she has also a pretty good attitude.
Okay.
Because she could just suck it up and be normal and go to China, and she's got it. She's secure. They're both being certain.
Yeah. They have like their safety nets.
They're blessed. Emily, unclear.
Well, she has a safety net.
She has no back of always slaying.
Yeah. Of being so charismatic.
Of herself.
And,
the dream.
And her 2 million Instagram followers.
Yes, definitely. And then the other ways the season kicks off immediately is that Emily's upstairs neighbor is this hot French guy who also initially only talks in French noises, but think like sexier ones, breathier, like, yeah, that's what he's giving. And you're like, yes. And they hook up because they have to. There's just sexual tension. He's making noises like that.
Yeah.
It's revealed he has an on again, off again girlfriend named Camille. Who's this charming blonde gal that Emily also hits it off with right away.
Damn.
And that's sort of one of the central problems.
Is this like the main
throughout the
guy of the show?
Yes. They're the ultimate top pairing. His name is Gabrielle. He starts so hot, but then, in my opinion, as the show progresses and we give him character development, he starts talking. It's not.
That's how it is in real life too.
Exactly. Guys, tip.
Stop talking.
French noises. Just make a French noise.
Don't let us really get to know you.
And he's a chef. Which I think hot.
Yeah.
He's always like cooking Emily a dish or being like, I have to go back to the kitchen.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
That's where men belong.
He wears the tight white tees on the muscles like Jeremy Allen White.
Yeah.
Like it's a vibe.
Okay.
That's where men belong, is the kitchen in 2024.
Totally.
In a hot way.
It's hot.
And that's
we
empowered.
Love it. Yeah.
For men.
Stay in the kitchen. Don't talk.
Get in there, boys. Whip us up something good. We'll love you forever.
We will.
look, everyone in LA is only trying to date in like a polycule now or whatever.
Yeah.
And if you're going to sustain that, you have to have something to bring to the table.
Exactly.
It should be literal.
Because
bring
at that
delicious
point,
bread.
it's literally like an old-timey like commune.
Yeah.
What are you good at?
You're just a community.
Yes.
What are you good at?
What are
Who
you
can
good
shoe
at?
my horse? Who can bake the bread?
Who's making the money and who's cooking?
Yeah. And I think I have Emily in Paris type of soft skills.
Mm-hmm.
The best I can hope for is to go make a little money. Like,
Yeah.
At the house,
yeah.
I'm just going to be annoying and like talking while I look out the window. So
Well, if you're talking, you know who can be talking? The guy.
the guy, because he's being like,
And in the kitchen.
and you're allowed to smoke cigs in there if you want.
Yeah.
I'll just to give me.
Well, also it's France.
And we're in France.
Yeah.
Cool.
The fantasy.
The fantasy. But so throughout it, there's this dynamic of like, oh, I can't have this vibe with Gabrielle because of Camille.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, does Camille have a vibe with me? Is this a throuple situation?
Oh.
She hates me now because she knows and they broke up. And then I tried to date Gabrielle, but do we have it? Camille's back. Like, it's like we're just cooking through different scenarios.
Wait, is she straight, Emily?
Emily, I would say, is straight. Camille could be not.
Okay.
I don't know if we fully get there with the throuple scenario. I don't remember. But
Maybe
there's
season
definitely
3.
an episode where Emily is like, they've already done like, they all have dinner with candles at their house. And Emily's being like, oh my God. So Emily's not straight, but Emily's definitely not homophobic. And Emily's trying to live her best life.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
she's open to it, but like scared.
Hey, look, that's the best way to live life is just be open to new experiences.
She's open. Emily is definitely open to new experiences because she lives without fear. She doesn't do fear-based living. Role model.
We should write a whole self-help book about how to live like Emily in Paris.
We need to email Darren Starr. We have to get his permission. That's a good idea.
He might give it.
Who knows how involved he is in his projects? He can be the name on it.
He can be like, I'm
We can
already working
ghostwrite
on
it.
that.
Yeah, shut up.
Shut up. This is already
Like,
in
Sorry,
publication.
genius.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So that's sort of the baseline of Emily. And then the other main tension is that she is a girl boss and wants to like work. But everyone, including the girl boss at her French company, is like, Emily, how about chill, have a glass of wine, and enjoy your damn life?
Yeah.
How about go have sex? Like her boss is literally being like, Emily, you need to go get laid instead of worrying about spreadsheets.
That's how
And
people are in
awesome.
Europe in general. They're
Yeah.
like, Americans, they work too much.
And that's like a core tension. And at first, it's Emily teaching them like late capitalist America values, and it like helps the business. But then she'll overstep, so then they'll push back, and it's very like the French way, the American way, business. And I did think this also got better in season 2 because she starts to actually grapple with that and be like, "Am I wrong? Was the way I was conditioned wrong?"
Wow.
And it's not like that deep, but it's pretty good. They try to bring her back to America, and she's like, "I can't go. I'm
Whoa.
French. I'm Emily in Paris now."
Emily in America, I can't even imagine what that would look like.
Exactly. And it ends up good. She has like real emotional moments with like the French boss.
Okay.
There's like a firework gala scene.
Good stuff. Fireworks.
I don't know if RuPaul's been in it yet, but someone like RuPaul's been in it.
That makes so much sense.
There's just a lot of good stuff happening. And every season, the main guy is Gabriel, but they also introduce a hot other guy.
Well, yeah. That's how it should be in real life.
That's how
too.
it should be.
You have your main guy,
in
and
the
then
kitchen,
another guy comes down
on the
then.
street. He's on the
Yeah.
Vespa picking you up.
Yeah.
She always has that. And so that's really good. My favorite episode of Emily in Paris that I would like to talk about briefly is this one that in my memory what happened is she goes to Camille's family's champagne like farm, the vineyard, and Camille's like, you need to meet my brother, while Emily's having sexual attention with Camille's boyfriend.
Okay.
And they all ride in a small car there, and she rides on the boyfriend's lap.
Wait, Emily's on the boyfriend's lap?
And the friend's like, "Ha, Emily, just sit on his lap."
Why isn't she on anyone else's lap, or why
There's
isn't
just
anyone
not
else
room.
in...
This is
why
what's
isn't
up.
Camille in... Okay,
She's
sorry.
on the boyfriend's lap.
Okay.
And it's awesome. And they're riding in a convertible with Camille driving. And then they get there, and Emily's goal is to pitch Camille's mom on a cool new way to sell the wine. And Camille's like, you have to meet my brother. So this is like what's going on in the background. Emily gets drunk at the vineyard, meets the brother by the pool late at night. He tells her that, do you know what a coupe glass is?
The one that looks like Marilyn Monroe's breast.
Yes. He says, this is a coupe glass. It is the perfect size. It's Marie Antoinette's breast is what he says.
Oh.
And he says, it's the size of a perfect breast, perfect for pleasure. And then Emily cups the glass to her own boob even though they've had no other action before this, and they like looks at him, and then they like, in my memory, just go at it on the pool chair.
This is how I'm trying to live my life right now.
No, it's a sleigh. Like, before this, only silly things are happening.
Yeah.
But I went back and then later in the episode, other best part, she's trying to make an Instagram reel. Emily's only on Instagram, not TikTok. She's trying to make it millennial.
Yeah. No, but that's also dream life if we didn't have to be on TikTok.
Don't worry about TikTok.
Yeah.
But she's making an Instagram reel of the girl's dad. He's quirky, opening a champagne bottle with a sword, and he chops off his hand in the yard, and blood goes everywhere. It's like shockingly gory.
Wait, that kind of
for
thing
Emily
happens.
in Paris.
That happens.
This is the only thing that's happened like that.
His whole hand, not even a finger.
His whole hand gets chopped off.
A finger is normal sitcom shenanigans.
No, he loses a damn hand.
That's insane.
And it's bloody. And everyone's like, ha.
What?
Ultimately, everyone's like, ha. But I went back and watched that episode this week.
Okay.
The brother, I remembered it as the brother sucks her tit by the pool. Is how I summarized it.
Yeah.
No such thing happens. There's the cupping of the glass. And then they go to the bedroom and are seen doing it. And you're not seeing much skin, but the way this guy's like humping, you're like, are they really doing it? So I was slightly taken aback.
Okay.
It's like grunty and real.
Okay.
And Emily's like during it, like talking and like living her life. Good.
She's talking during it like normally?
She's allowed.
Okay.
She's
cool.
allowed, like, if she's kind of like, we should stop because you're my brother or my friend's brother. Like, she can just say
While
that
he's
during.
going,
And it's like real sex sometimes. And then the dad chopping his hand off is in a different episode where she goes back to the vineyard.
Okay.
So they should have made it one episode just to really pack a punch. But funniest part, I forgot this. It's revealed the next day at the family breakfast because they're all sex positive as the French.
Right.
That she hooked up with the brother and everyone's like cool with it. But the brother is 17 years old. And I was like, ah! And then the mom brings her into the office to be like, so you slept with my son. And Emily's nervous. And then she says, is he a good lover? All I care about is his future pleasure in life.
Boy mom.
Awesome. Pretty good up, but not as erotic or gory as I imagined.
But more shocking ultimately.
Ultimately, they're delivering like that.
That's so funny that your imagination is painting it to be more explicit.
I think it's because when I watched it, I was understimulated on purpose.
Yeah.
And then was like, oh my God,
Wait.
Emily. So then I'm putting the content to match my memory reaction.
Right. Because it is shocking for any of that to happen in this
Emily
show.
in Paris.
Yeah.
The guy's hand gets chopped off.
That's crazy.
Good. Pretty good stuff.
Pretty good stuff.
So those are my top Emily in Paris memories, I would say.
This is not what I expected, I will say. Because I thought it was like really like nothing much happens and she's just running around Paris being like, oh, flower arrangement. Like I didn't know there was going to be hands chopped off and underage sex happening.
That's happening too.
Okay.
It's all happening.
It's all happening.
Another key plot I would say in season 1 is the guy who's married that wants her so bad is like a 50-year-old guy who she's involved in business with who has a wife. And she's like, that's a problem. But then it's revealed that her boss is the guy's mistress. More of a problem.
That's the more serious problem if you ask me.
It is in the show too. And it's interesting because it's like they all know they're in this triangle and her and the boss like discuss
how this guy wants her so bad.
But she's already this guy's other woman.
Yeah.
Emily's little other woman junior. There's European cinema vibes happening.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I do think this is what Americans also like think of, like, oh, if I go to Paris, I'm gonna get embroiled.
It's what we need too. I think America would be better if we were Emily in Parising more.
Yeah, just being open about our desires.
Totally. And confident in them and unapologetic.
Yeah.
In business, in sex, and in life.
That's how people in Europe are like that. Like they're being more
they're
like
direct. They're blunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I just
good
think
for
you're
them.
beautiful women. Like they're just saying it.
I know.
Instead of
They'll just take a swing. It's admirable.
Everyone
it's something.
Everyone should live like that.
Everyone should live like that. Emily has to grapple with that.
But she seems to be thriving in that setting.
She definitely is. She's doing incredible. Should we get into our plots?
Our
what we think
plots.
happens in Emily in Paris season 3/4?
Oh yeah, season 3/4.
So season 3 and or 4?
I don't really have like a plot,
Go for it.
but I basically basically, you know, she's been there for a few years.
Yes.
I think we need to start like thinking more long term.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is she gonna move to Paris? Like, does she need it? I think she should need to have a green card marriage.
Me too. Goosebumps. Incredible slay.
Yeah. And I don't know if this happens. Maybe season 3 is like kind of the ramp up to that, where like she's like, or maybe her company's like, I don't know how long we can keep sponsoring you living here, and if you want to stay here, you're gonna have to get citizenship. And maybe it's like she's trying to do it in other ways, but not that hard, because, you know, it's merely Emily.
It'll work
like,
out.
It'll be fine.
It'll work out.
But then season 4, things are coming down to the wire. She's like, do I have to move away? But this is my home. And like, maybe she has like another like Paris is my home moment.
Definitely. She's always having them.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe she does have to go back briefly. Maybe we finally meet the family and she goes back to Chicago, or like
the
whatever.
Chicago suburbs.
The
I have
Chicago
goosebumps.
suburbs.
And it could all have like white lighting and be so unsexy.
Yeah,
and she
yeah.
could dress worse there.
Yeah. It could be like
A
like
scary movie episode.
like chili cheese dogs.
Yes.
And as far as the eye can see. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's snowy in a bad way.
American football is happening.
The suffering of Emily. How does she do in this environment?
How does she do? She has to like wear a freaking
Sweatshirt,
poncho,
and a puffer jacket.
Yeah. What's
Oh,
that gonna
no.
look like?
That's an exciting episode.
And then everyone's like, oh, Emily, finally you've returned home. And then she, like, maybe she has parents. Maybe they've been like missing her so much. And she has to grapple with that. But I do think the parents should be slaying in their own way.
They definitely would be. I think the show is safe enough for they've been missing her the whole time. We just haven't been covering that. And they're like doing fine.
Yeah. They don't need her.
Yeah.
But they are like, finally, you're home.
Totally.
And maybe we meet her like childhood crush or something.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Really, her like initial fiance guy just wiped off the face of the planet.
And that's fine.
I
think
guess
it's
that sometimes
more
happens.
It's more exciting to go back and meet your like high school boyfriend or
than
something.
the guy you dated like 3 years ago. That was a mistake. That's true. I would love to know who Emily dated in high school.
Exactly. And yeah, maybe he was like the star, or maybe she just had a crush on the star quarterback or something, and then he's like, Emily, I've been seeing your Instagram.
Yes, this is now you're in it. keep going, and I'm feeling excited. I'm like, this is a good one.
Yeah, and then she's like, oh my god, Brad, after all this time, I thought you were gonna get married to that whatever her name is. And then he's like, we were, but
it didn't work out.
It didn't work out. And then maybe they go for like a snowy walk, and she's like, yeah, I really wanted to stay in Paris, but maybe like it's time I try to live here again. And he's like, well, I'd love to see more of you.
Wow.
And then they fuck, obviously.
I would like him to be a bartender, and it's Christmas, and it's like his bar kind of.
Yeah.
So he's a successful,
he's like giving
sexy
her
bartender.
He's giving her free drinks.
Yes, and she's getting tipsy and be like, oh my god.
Yeah, and she's like kind of briefly loving it.
And they can do pool, and I think Emily gets hers, and she can move on. She's emotionally healthy.
Yeah.
Unashamed.
Yeah.
So I think they should he closes the bar at Christmas while she's still there,
and they fuck on the bar.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. And Emily in Paris would give that to us.
Yeah. They fuck on the bar. It's like fun.
Incredible neon lighting.
Yeah, but then I think after that she realizes she's just bored here.
Her back hurts.
Yeah. Her back. Yeah. It's a mess. Like, it's sticky everywhere.
Her outfits, everyone looks at her weird.
She hates the smell of beer. Yeah.
She just has to go back to her job.
She has to go back.
It could also be like, it cannot be that deep on Emily. Like, she could just be there for the week and be like, wow, this was pretty awesome. And then work can call and be like, Emily, we need 5,000 Chinese lanterns.
Yeah.
And she can just jet back.
Yeah.
Like, she cannot even have any emotions about it either way.
True. And that's what life should be like. But
awesome.
Anyway, I think, and then at that point, I think things come to a head, and it's like, if you want to stay in Paris, you have to get green card married. And I think Camille would give her permission to marry her
Gabrielle?
boyfriend.
Whoa.
I think she could, like, they could be like,
it's fake.
Yeah. It's
the
fake.
ultimate fake boyfriend scenario.
Yes. This is just for your green card. You can be married, but you can't fuck.
And it's like a matriarchy in that she's lending Emily her boyfriend so Emily can stay in town.
That's the most secure
woman thing to do.
Yes.
Fantasy life.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we just deal with the consequences of that.
I kind of like the idea of Emily marrying a different, like the sexy guy of the season. And then still having it with Gabrielle. And then they have to have like couple double date sort of situations. And it's like, are her And the sexy guy of the season who she married, like, do they have it?
Yeah.
Or not? Who does she really want to be with? And maybe then they can both cheat on their significant others with each other.
Well, what I love about like green card weddings is that you usually have to sell it. Like you have to like have a real wedding.
You have to.
And like
Emily would love to have a wedding.
Yes.
And that'd be a good episode.
Yeah.
Emily's wedding.
Emily planning her own fake wedding.
Yes. And the Chinese pop star best friend would she would sing at it.
Yeah.
And it would be awesome. And at Emily's wedding, everyone would wear white.
Yeah.
And everyone would have sex later.
Yeah. And Emily wears like deep magenta or
and
something.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like a flower headdress for some reason. Yeah. It would be a cool wedding.
There would be doves.
There'd be like someone for the boss to get with. It's just the Emily fantasy.
Yeah.
It gives and it gives.
Yeah. And then I think maybe she does love whoever her fake husband is. And yeah, but like not too much because she still has to fuck other guys. But
they can have an arrangement.
Yeah.
I think Emily in Paris is allowed to have an arrangement.
Totally.
Even though it's like also a cartoon.
Yeah. And I think maybe the boss sheds a tear.
Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. But what I love about the boss though is the boss is like this eternal other woman who's like, I don't need love. I have cigarettes and business. I don't even believe in this stuff. And that's why she's awesome. So it'd be pretty meaningful.
And she catches up the bouquet at the end.
Oh, who's she gonna marry? I think the other problem, I'd love if Emily and Boss all get married. We also need the Chinese friend.
Oh.
She has less reason to be able to stay in Paris. I think more realistically, this could be a plot
for the
for
Chinese
the friend because she's unemployed.
Wait, does she have a love interest?
Sometimes.
Okay.
She initially has busker guy love interest.
Yeah.
And then I think they keep going, at least into my memory, and start like writing songs together. He's not gonna be able to provide for her in France.
No.
She's gonna marry someone more reasonable.
Totally.
So I think that could be a real subplot that happens. And Emily's maybe like, but about love, and we just talk about it, but like through the friend, because she does need to or get a job or something. She needs a way to stay.
Yeah,
I don't know what she's getting up to. I also think it could be fun if Emily's doing trips to other locales. If she goes home with the best friend to China. And it's sort of a crazy rich Asians
Emily
week
in
on
China.
Yeah.
What would that even look like? Maybe she falls in love with like
hot brother. There's just always gonna be a hot brother. They're gonna have an awesome time. Emily's gonna do a faux pas at tea, but like fix it.
Yeah.
And she's gonna somehow become the PR girl for like TikTok.
Ultimately, like the cunty parents will love her.
Yeah. She'll get it at the end. And even if they love her like haltingly, if they're kind of like, you're crazy, she'll still hold her head high.
I think they're going to be like,
do her thing.
To their daughter, Emily's a good influence.
You should be more like Emily. Yeah. Totally. Emily will slay the day. That's the thing. And it could just be fun to see Emily in China. Are her outfits going to be like China? Are they going to be appropriate?
Gonna be a little.
Is that okay?
I think it's okay if Emily does it.
That's the question.
If she's allowed to wear a beret, maybe she's allowed to.
She's definitely allowed to wear a beret. I don't know. But pretty fun possibilities.
Pretty fun.
Do you have any other pitches for things Emily should get up to?
Pitches for what? You know what? I just thought of this. The Paris Olympics.
Was she involved?
Yeah, maybe she had to do something Olympics related.
Yeah. I do think like Tom Daly could be an Emily in Paris for one episode doing like bad One Direction on iCarly type acting. I think we could definitely get that.
That would be awesome.
That's fun. I like the idea of just in general, let's put a sort of world athlete.
Or Snoop Dogg.
Snoop, I don't know if they can interact.
That would be funny to see.
It'd be interesting to see. Who's someone that's like, I think Emily in Paris would be more likely to have a cameo from Jason Derulo. Someone a little more Disney Channel, because it is still like that.
Or like I'm trying to think of like an athlete, probably like one of the skateboarders or something.
Oh, that could be interesting.
Yeah.
The friend could date a skateboarder. Okay. That's sort of the divide.
Yeah.
Is Emily has to date someone who either owns a business or is like a businessman, or is independently wealthy. But the friend can date like busking guy, skateboard guy,
Olympic bronze medalist.
Yeah, just more of a guy on the street.
I think in general they should go to the horny Olympic village.
Yeah, Emily could deal with that. Emily could have like a problem where it's like, we have to be the number one supplier of condoms at the Olympic village.
Yeah,
and she could eat that up.
Yeah,
and I think that's a safe space for Emily.
Wow. Can't wait to see if that happens.
What a life. Mine also does involve the athlete thing, kind of.
Oh, cool.
So again, I thought we were initially talking season 3. and then did a little research because I was like, what happened in season 3? And was like, I don't remember this. So shocked at what I found if I did watch it. Here's what I said before I learned about the season 3 tea of it all. I think Emily should now have sort of a streaming show. It's like Anthony Bourdain style.
Wow.
Like, and it might just be on her phone.
Yeah.
Or she might have like a camera guy who's like cute, and the camera guy could date the best friend.
Oh, perfect.
Emily wouldn't date her own camera guy.
No. That'd be gauche.
She wouldn't do that. But the camera guy can date the best friend. And then I think Emily should do sort of traveling around to various French villas in the style of Bridget Jones as like a travel reporter, or our famous idea that is yet to be created, the Jyo of sampling, which is a show that we made up that's obviously a play on the joy of sampling to incorporate both of our names, where we basically do what we do on the pod, except at a restaurant.
Yeah, we go to a restaurant, we sit, we comment on the vibe,
and the food, and it's just casual.
And then we talk about other stuff too.
And people love it.
Yeah.
The people at the restaurant love it, and the viewers love it. And that's our Emily in Paris fantasy of the Jyo of sampling.
Famous. Yeah.
After we made this up, we went to the aquarium. Just the two of us went to the aquarium. Yes, I do. Because we were at the aquarium and we went to the part where you could pet the horseshoe crab. And there's like starfish you could pet and horseshoe crab you could pet and some third thing. And the first person with the starfish, we were like chumming it up. We were like being so Jyo of sampling. Yeah. And they hated it. And we were like, they hated it. And then we went to the guy with the horseshoe crab and he was yucking it up right back. And we were like, we have to come back to horseshoe crab guy. For the Jyo of sampling.
Horseshoe crab guy, you can be A on the pod and B on the Jyo of sampling.
If we ever get that
one
done.
just in our lives.
He had it. He had the energy to be on the show. And we like talked about that. We were being insufferable at the aquarium. But Emily should be doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think it should range between like cuisines to like the aquarium. Like she should I want to see flora, fauna, food, nature. I want to see a like airplane flown by a hot guy. Mona Lisa. Give it to us.
Yeah.
And so I love when she travels, hence me talking about the champagne episode. And I think where I landed on it, because I didn't know the news of season 3, is that it starts with Emily and Gabrielle, restaurateur, together.
Okay.
I think his restaurant's taking off. Oh. And Emily has her streaming show because of the conflict with the work in America and Europe. Maybe she's just taking a little time off to get her head straight.
Okay.
And I think that's fun for season 4. We Love It, Emily Travels. So I think she's kind of like over him. And she's like, oh, our domestic life, it's so great. But Emily needs more than that.
Yeah.
She's a conqueror.
Totally.
She's a Maxinista.
Yeah, she's to ride off on her horse into battle.
Yes.
Seize new territories.
PR, take new like boomerang stories and stuff. So what I'm imagining is that part of why Emily was into Old Boy is because it was not allowed because of Camille.
Yeah.
And my pitch is that Camille and him break up and Camille just is bisexual.
Okay.
I think also Emily wouldn't date a woman in the show, but Camille can definitely date a woman.
Yeah.
And it can be cool.
Can she date the best friend?
No, but I think that's just because we need more plots than that, if that makes sense.
Totally.
I think she should date like an older, cool French woman.
Ooh.
And Emily's just like, OMG.
A gallery owner.
Yeah,
or
something like that would be good. And then I think the shared boyfriend can be kind of like, about that and like stressed about his restaurant while Emily's off gallivanting with hot plane pilots and with crab, did I just say? And horseshoe crab guys. She's seen the hotties of the France.
Yeah.
And like that's under strain. And then what I would like to happen is that she and him, I think maybe like they break up. And it's while Emily is covering F1 racing. Because Netflix also has F1 Drive to Survive. They could get the real racer hot guys on the show.
Oh my God. She can go to fucking Monte Carlo and
it can be incredible.
She could be
Emily
at the fucking Grand Prix.
Sexy. And imagine the outfits. My outfits pitch for her is that they just go from the point of being like bad and big to being like full cartoon. Like she's on a boat in an outfit that's a boat. if that makes sense. She's at the Grand Prix and wearing like a tire outfit. Like it's kind of Lady Gaga 2010.
She could wear like the white checkered. She could be the flag.
Yeah, she's going places and is just really serving like a drag look of whatever the event of the day is.
Yeah.
She's wearing a hat that's grapes, like that kind of situation. And she meets, I think this can't be one of the real F1 drivers because I imagine they cannot act either, but like a sexy Spanish guy who's an F1 driver who were like, this guy, and then maybe she like goes around the tour. I don't know where they go. Maybe Emily gets to travel for once. Maybe she goes farther than Paris's borders.
Yeah,
because I do think we want that.
I want her to hang out in casinos, and yeah.
We want to see. Oh my god, she could be dressed as like a poker chip, and wear a poker chip hat. Fun. And I don't know what the drama is with F1 driver guy. He's just driving.
He's just driving fast.
He has sponsorship deals. Maybe that's the problem. Is she's supposed to represent him for the PR agency,
but then she also wants to fuck him.
Yes, and that is a conflict. And then her boss can weigh in on it.
Yeah,
and it can just be.
But also
that's a lot to deal with.
The thing about F1 is like they have these different like teams, and usually there's multiple hotties on the same team.
Loving it.
So
okay,
that's some drama as well.
Maybe Emily can have this F1 crush that's like a conflict of business interest.
Yeah.
But the whole time she doesn't know that her older boss is having an age gap thing with one of the other guys on the team. And then the boss can be in a new position where she's kind of bashful and like hiding something from Emily. Pretty fun. And of course, cartoon white hair guy and gay guy can be there making French noises. They're doing the stuff that's like Three Stooges, like, oh, he spilled the cheese cubes, or like,
oh, they're clumsy.
They're being wacky.
Okay.
And they can be wacky around the drama, which I like to see.
Yeah.
Did I have anything else to say? I actually did have on my notes that her love interest has to be a sexy Spanish guy or a Crazy Rich Asians type guy. So we
need some racial diversity here.
Well, Emily has Gabrielle, the OG white boyfriend.
Yeah.
And then I feel like there's another guy who I'm forgetting. Sorry to him. And then there's a hot black guy.
Okay.
And so we just got to keep working our way.
Yeah, we got to get an Asian in there.
We got to keep doing it.
Yeah, someone swarthy.
Yeah.
Totally.
So
I think they could go the opposite direction and get like a Norwegian.
Sure. I'm just saying we need more hot guy representation.
Totally.
And that's what Emily in Paris is for. So
okay.
That's pretty fun. Maybe she's just like living it up this season and she's like, oh my god, there's F1 guy, but now I'm in freaking Norway. And I have to have sex with a reindeer farmer?
I think she should be slightly uncomfortable too. Like she should be like on a fishing boat and be like, whoa.
Yeah. But still charming them to pieces.
Totally.
I want to see that too. That's my dreams for Emily. But okay. The reveal.
Oh.
Apparently what happens in season 3 of Emily in Paris, which I thought I'd seen because apparently the early part of the plot is just her grappling with like, what company do I want to work for? Do I stay in Paris? Do I go to America? The kind of situation, which I'm like, I'm familiar with that.
Normal stuff, yeah.
But then at the end of it, it's revealed that Camille is pregnant with Gabrielle's baby while they're like off again. And him and Emily are like, should we maybe? And then classic TV show thing to do.
Right.
They're finally like, is it us? Camille comes back. I'm pregnant with your child. They get married.
And
end of season 3.
She's going to keep the baby too? That's shocking. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It makes sense for her to keep the baby because she does want to keep her ownership of Gabriella, I would say. Also, she has an incredible life where she's inheriting a champagne vineyard. Oh. And she's like 32 or something. Okay. And she's going to be a cool mom. She's going to be a cool French mom. Okay. So I think separate from the rest of it, slay for Camille to be a mother. Okay, I'm happy for her. But it's with Emily's ultimate top pairing man. How are we going to address that?
How are we going to address that?
I don't freaking know.
You have no ideas like off that?
That's halted me in my tracks.
No, that's
I felt
crazy.
Punched in the gut.
Because I feel like the whole thing is we're kind of cool with Emily messing around with some other girl's man. Yeah. But like somebody's baby daddy,
I don't know. Are we
feel
okay
like
with that?
That's a step too far.
I think what I would do, here's the thing. I'm not into Gabrielle. Okay. He's not doing it for me. He's doing it for me when he's just making French noises. Yeah. But now we know him too well.
Well, maybe, yeah. And so maybe the show agrees. Maybe it's like writing him off so that
there does have to be a new sexy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be that Camille leaves Gabrielle
to do her own thing. Yeah. Or I think what could happen is maybe something like what either of us put. Emily goes to a different country for a while in the season and Paris is just bookends. And so she goes away, and there's a new guy who she's like head over heels for, and we're like, we love this guy. And then end of season revealed Camille's, he is not the father.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
Emily's like moved on. She's like happy for them or whatever. She's got this new hot guy in her life.
Yeah.
And then Gabrielle's on her doorstep.
I think they should do one of those classic plots where Emily somehow finds proof that Gabrielle's not the father.
And it's like, it can't come from Emily.
Yeah, and it's like, do I tell him? Do I not?
Stressful.
Yeah.
And how do I feel about that? Classic Emily situation. And the thing is, I can't come up with how she would handle it because no one can do it like her. It would involve like a fashion show, the event of a lifetime,
a TikTok live or Instagram live stream.
Michelle Visage is there.
Yeah,
she's got it. And if anyone is up to this challenge, it's Emily.
I think she would hire like a skywriter to write over Gabrielle's house.
Oh,
you are not the father.
That's long. That's a lot of fuel.
That's money. That's a lot of money.
She's gonna need a sponsor for that. Maybe the plane can also pull a flag for like
Ritz crackers.
Yeah, that could be good. There's only French brands in the Emily in Paris show, and I don't know if they're like real.
Président Brie cheese.
No, it's more made up than that.
Okay.
But I'm too French ignorant to be able to tell you like, is this a real French company or is this like we made up things for the show? But Emily doesn't drink like Diet Coke or anything. There's no sponsorship happening here.
Cool.
She lives a cleanly, pure life. But yeah, I was shocked by that. That's my real trajectory. I think my take can still be true, but I think they have to deal with this, obviously, in season 4 is what the show's going to be about.
So they already got married, or are they just going to get married?
They got married.
Damn.
And from the screenshot I saw, it looked lovely.
Oh, wow.
But in a small, chic French church, Emily's hands were not on the situation. So.
But still, if it's like a nice wedding, that means the show is being like, well, they're married and it was beautiful.
It was in a dimly lit church and they were wearing white, but it could either be nice and cozy or like a little scary. I don't know.
Okay.
I need to hear the soundtrack.
Yeah. Is it swelling romantic music or
is it like sad?
Yeah.
And Gabrielle is a man of having big wet eyes. So however he's balefully glancing, is it baleful or is he like into it? That'll tell us a lot. Yeah.
Wow.
And now
to do a hard transition here.
Knuckles, the series on Paramount Plus.
Right. Yeah, so we saw this show pop up on Paramount Plus, and everything about it was shocking.
First of all, I was shocked. Joseph didn't know Knuckles got a show.
I didn't even know that. Did you know that?
I only know that. I don't know anything about Knuckles. What's the premise of the Sonic universe or anything? But I knew Knuckles' ass got a show.
Okay.
They've been buying up the billboards for Knuckles.
And we also knew like a couple things about it because we looked at like the description of the second episode.
We used context clues. It popped the second episode up and it tried to trick me into watching it like it was in my continue watching. And Joseph was like, you've been watching Knuckles the show? And I was like, have I been watching? It almost got me. I was almost gaslit by Knuckles the show. But I was like, no way I watched Knuckles the show.
This is literally the opposite of you in season 3 of Emily in Paris.
Yeah, I believed Emily in Paris could gaslight me either way, but not Knuckles. Well, there's also, just in the one photo they gave us, it was too shocking because it was Knuckles in front of the Las Vegas Sphere. Knuckles is in Las Vegas? Doing what? I was taken aback by that.
According to the summary of the second episode, he's getting kidnapped.
I thought all the Sonic characters just lived on a track.
Huh.
Like in a sort of eternal track and field track.
Like an F1 type of...
And it's like a high school sized track and they're rat size.
Oh.
So like that is their world.
Well, see, Sam, I, unlike you, have seen the Sonic the Hedgehog feature film starring James Marsden.
Of course.
And they're more like, I would say they come up to like maybe even your hip
They're
size.
big.
Yeah.
They're big.
They're big. They're not hedgehog sized in any way.
My Sonic is based on like just the oldest of old video games where it's like 8-bit and they're just running. Because I think that's all I've really interacted with Sonic. My
thing is, okay, I know about Sonic enough.
What's Sonic's vibe? Paint me a picture of Sonic like I painted of Emily.
Okay.
Is Sonic having sex?
I fucking maybe one day. Maybe one day. Okay. Sonic, okay, first of all, voiced by John Ralphio from Parks and Rec.
Okay, that says enough.
Random.
That says plenty.
Random.
Yeah, wild. Is he a little wild?
He's annoying.
Yeah.
I would not say he's like wild or fun or anything.
Well, he's definitely annoying because his whole thing is gotta go fast, right?
Yes.
He's addicted to it.
He's addicted to going fast. Okay, there's a whole thing with like 7 rings that you have to get, and the rings
like
are
the Ariana Grande song.
Yes.
Okay.
Just like Ariana. She was actually talking about Sonic in that song.
Okay.
And then the rings are like portals to different worlds.
Oh.
And there's like a bad guy who's like this like...
Is he played by Jim Carrey?
Yes.
Jim Carrey came back for this. I remembered that during the Sonic promo and was like shocked by that.
He is he's like a goggles wearing like doctor professor type who I think is also like he can float. And he's fun. He's evil. He's fun.
Okay.
But he wants the rings. Sonic wants the rings. So it's like running fast, but also there's portals.
Okay.
And they go,
Sonic loves travel.
Yes.
Just like Emily.
Yep.
And not like me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sonic wants to be able to get places so fast.
And the places are weird. Like the different universes are really weird. I think there was one that was like everything was a mushroom.
Oh, cool. Is it like CGI'd to hell? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
But in like a fun Willy Wonka way. Not like in a Marvel
it's not bad.
way. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. What's Sonic want? Who's his community?
That's a good question. I don't really remember the details.
Gotta
of
go
that.
fast.
I just remember because his main emotional bond obviously ends up being with James Marsden.
It's not with Knuckles.
Knuckles isn't in the movie
At all?
No. There's only Sonic, this professor guy are the weird guys, and then James Marsden is the other character that he interacts with.
There's no other CGI creatures? Because I think there's a pink type Sonic situation who's Sonic's girlfriend. Is that not real?
No, not in this movie. Because at the very end of the movie, in like the post-credit teaser, I think they tease... I don't remember if it's Knuckles or Shadow.
Probably the black one.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's one of them, and they're teased all the way at the end, and you're supposed to be like, whoa, there's going to be a second wacky guy?
So Sonic's like alone in this world?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sad.
I know, but he's not
How's
alone.
his attitude?
I think he's annoying, but he also does have his moments of sadness, I think. But also he's like, all he has in the world is James Marsden, who, by the way, if I remember correctly, is a cop in this.
Oh.
He's like a traffic cop, and the way they meet is like James is sitting by the side of the road with like a radar gun thing.
Fun.
And then Sonic goes by and he's like, whoa,
that's so fast.
Fast.
That's pretty good.
And then pulls him over.
I'm delighted by this. Does he? Is he in a car? How do you even catch up with Sonic?
I don't remember how they actually
is there
like
a cop
catch
chase
up with
with
each
Sonic?
other. I think there's at least an attempt.
What city does Sonic live in?
That's a good question. I do think it's like in the desert. Maybe it is in like Vegas or something. I'm remembering a desert. It's also like I think they hang out in like Wild West saloon type bar, like country bars. I remember.
Oh.
I only have like glimpses of this. I also think I was so stoned when I watched this movie.
I think it makes sense though that Sonic would have to populate like the same places like the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote, open space. Gotta go fast.
I do think, if I remember correctly, also like at the beginning of the movie, he like lands on this world like a fucking fallen star, like Lucifer falling from the heavens style. Like he's not meant to be here. He's like stranded here. He needs to get his like rings so he can leave, but then this guy is after him.
That sucks. I thought in the movie Sonic, I imagine him living in LA and just like running around and having his friends and his community and doing stuff like stopping for an espresso.
Okay. I think by the end of it, he's reached that place.
That's good. I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
That's what I want for him.
Yeah. And I do think, again, he is annoying, but he also like needs to not be annoying. It's like if E.T. were here and needs to like go home, but also is so annoying that no one wants to help him because he's annoying.
Wow. E.T.'s vibe was so not annoying.
No.
I can't imagine.
E.T.'s one of the least annoying characters.
E.T. looking weird.
Yeah.
E.T. can't afford to be annoying in the same way Sonic and Sonic can just leave a situation.
Sonic has pretty privilege
and fast
privilege.
And E.T. doesn't have either of those things. He looks like a weird ugly baby monkey.
I know.
But he needs to be cared for. So he's winning in that way.
He also literally looks like a baby, so you would care for him.
Yeah.
I think Sonic kind of looks like an asshole.
Sonic has big eyes like a baby, but it's because of his spiky hair. Spiky hair is asshole coated accessories.
Yeah, Guy Fieri.
Yeah. Tough. Okay, so that's what's up in the Sonic movie.
But here's the thing. So I know, like, obviously everybody knows Sonic fast, right? What is Knuckles' deal?
I was trying to figure this one out too. It clearly has to be his Knuckles.
Yeah, does he beat people up?
I was wondering that too. Are his Knuckles so big and powerful?
Yeah, like is he engaging in fisticuffs?
I was thinking like super punches.
Okay.
But then my problem was, how are him and Sonic supposed to hang out if he can't go fast? Sonic's not gonna like hang out with a friend and like ride the subway or something.
He would, but then he'd be like a dick about it.
Okay, so maybe that's doable.
I think that's like where the comedic tension comes in.
Yeah.
Is when Sonic's forced to like go at normal pace.
Oh, that's funny. That's just you saying that. I was like, sign me up. That's funny. Okay. So could be that. I was imagining, what if Knuckles is both fast and has the knuckles, but is for some reason the secondary character?
That's overpowered as hell.
We can't be that. Okay, that makes sense.
But what is his personality too? I just don't know about Knuckles.
I think Sonic is fast. Knuckles is like down to punch somebody.
Okay.
So maybe if Sonic isn't
like
wily,
rowdy.
Knuckles is a little rowdy. I mean, he's red.
It's an angry color.
And his like spiky hair is like longer. Bad boy.
Yeah. I think Shadow's like emo, right?
And can just like poof.
Is that what he can do? I don't know anything about
I'm
these
just
guys.
speculating.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about these guys either. And they're all guys. I did at first be like, is Knuckles a girl? And then Knuckles is getting kidnapped. And I was like, you can't just show a girl getting kidnapped.
No.
This can't be that. Yeah. I don't know.
And I was thrown by the sphere.
Yeah, Knuckles in Vegas.
Yeah. But specifically showing the sphere, I think that's like on purpose.
They're going to be in that thing.
I think the sphere paid for this whole show. That's my crazy theory about the show.
Okay, I believe that, and weirdly don't have a problem with it. This all feels so far away from my business, and like whatever they're trying to do isn't working, that I don't feel worried about it in like a corporate conglomerate control way.
Yeah, no, my theory about the future of entertainment is that everything is going to be paid for by one specific like company / thing.
But it's not Amazon, it's the Sphere.
It's the Sphere.
The Sphere partnering with Paramount Plus feels better to me than Amazon doing it in totality.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think each show is going to be a different, like there's going to be a Doritos show and there's going to be like a Toyota show.
We have to try to write the Doritos show. I got so hyped by that. We have to get the Doritos show.
And it's just not.
I have so many ideas.
It just can just be like a regular show, but it's just
the Doritos show.
It's the Doritos show.
It's like how stadiums are like SoFi Stadium.
SoFi,
yeah, it can be like Doritos New Girl.
It's also horrifying to imagine a SoFi show.
Yeah.
Like it's just a show that's also about like student loans and refinancing.
I think what's even worse is I think they're gonna do that, and I think it is gonna be stuff like SoFi New Girl, where they're just gonna have SoFi buys the rights to New Girl, and then the AI rewrites it to be about like that more. And that's what
Nick
we
Miller's
got.
Nick Miller's like, oh, I don't even have a checking account, and then Jess is like, let's open one with SoFi the most
right
reliable
now.
bank, and
And that's entertainment.
Yeah.
And you know the Doritos show is gonna be better than that one, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to.
that's grim.
Yeah, all of the like fun snacks I think are gonna be good shows.
Good shows.
Like Gushers. The Gusher show is gonna rock.
That means they don't even need a show because we're already on board with the snacks.
True.
You know, like relax.
No, you're right. It's gonna be literally all of the worst things that you never want to think about are gonna have, like the Listerine show.
Listerine, The Sopranos. And it's just Tony. It's the same thing, but they're just swishing it up. Yeah.
Instead of Gabagool, they're gonna be like Listerine.
Listerine. It's all gonna be AI rewritten. I feel like we're really on something now, and I'm grossed out.
Yeah,
I'm getting upset.
But this is gonna be Las Vegas Spears Knuckles on
and
Paramount
we can still
Plus.
do this. So actually, our assigned purpose that makes us zero money, we can still do, even if it's about SoFi New Girl.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm okay with talking about SoFi New Girl on the
we're
podcast.
basically SoFi Happenstance.
I want a good one. Which one would you want if we were owned by a company?
I mean, Doritos is pretty tight, and I did feel a personal significance and excitement about that one.
Okay. If it couldn't be something like so good, like it couldn't be something you were so excited about.
Well, see, I'm like lame and want to try to do it ethical, but we won't make enough money. Where we're like ASPCA Happenstance or like a good cause sort of.
I'm
situation.
okay with being like something bland, like Wayfair.
You'd be Wayfair Happenstance.
I would be okay with being.
They're just
Wayfair
making
Happenstance.
so much shit.
Okay,
and
West
putting
Elm
so much
Happenstance.
box. That's classy.
Classy.
We'd be making better money that way.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the thing where there's like an online rumor that Wayfair was human trafficking because like the boxes are so big or something? The explanation wasn't good at all, but they were like, be careful if you order from Wayfair because you might get a trafficked individual
in the box. Wouldn't that be better?
I'd be scared.
But it would be better to have them here and
what
not.
If they thought
that'd be a public
you
service.
ordered them and were mad at you
What?
and stabbed you.
Okay.
I don't know what the threat was supposed to be of Wayfair trafficking. I don't know. It was very vague and didn't
Maybe
make
it's
sense.
don't get a Wayfair box because they might ship you somewhere.
They're gonna somehow ship you. If you give Wayfair your address,
Yeah.
they can come to you with the trafficking team.
They'll send a box to your house. The box opens. There's a guy in it who
Makes
puts
you
you in the box, and then they ship you somewhere.
That's scary.
I would actually be cool with being FedEx Happenstance.
FedEx Happenstance. Okay, I could settle. That's fine. That's fine. Ah, man. All right. But what do you think happens in freaking the Sphere Knuckles?
Okay. Well, the sphere is gonna heavily feature.
Has to.
I just don't. Again, I know so little about Knuckles' deal. Is he working as like a bouncer for the sphere?
That's a good pitch. Because I think Knuckles loves punching people.
Yeah.
He's really good at it.
Yeah.
He's a weird guy with a zany personality.
Right.
He should be involved in the Las Vegas under and overworld as such.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, it's funny if instead of being like a club bouncer, it's at the Sphere for like the fucking U2 concert.
That's funny. And then because then he can meet Bono.
The dream.
An incredible interaction. Similar hair. Wow.
I'm gonna after this. I'm gonna write Bono / Knuckles fan
Fan
fiction.
fiction.
Doesn't have to be sexual, guys.
It doesn't. / fan fiction doesn't have to be sexual.
And there you have
And
it.
there you have it.
Well, okay. I was gonna say like, cause Sonic, like I said, like he is stranded on this world.
Yes.
Is Knuckles also stranded? Like, does he just like arrive and he's like, what the fuck? Or maybe he like goes after. Maybe he's looking for Sonic.
Aww.
He's looking for Sonic.
Yeah.
He's like,
he made it as far as Vegas.
well, he's like, you know what I think? I think my little guy, he would love this place.
Yeah. Okay. And then
he gets there. He's got to provide for himself.
that's true. You have to hustle.
You have to hustle in Vegas.
In
Maybe-
America.
What if he had some? Because they have like, I think they have like gold coins or something. What if he like loses all of it like on the blackjack table?
That's how I imagine Knuckles behaving. I know Knuckles isn't allowed to do this, but I imagine Knuckles being like Emily Paris and that it's mostly a cartoon, but Knuckles does maybe have a drinking problem and is gambling every night.
Is he fucking?
No.
Okay, good.
He's gambling and drinking because he's not. You know what I'm saying? Lonely.
And he couldn't.
He needs a community. With who? We're past the time where Knuckles could have sex with a human woman. That was the 90s.
Wow. Yeah, you're right.
Cartoons could do that in the 90s.
Yeah, back then they were going awooga awooga.
They can't do that
They
now.
can't do that.
We're past that. Thank God. But I do think Knuckles could maybe have like a really mature, slow burn relationship with someone like Zazie Beetz.
Oh, I like that a lot.
I think they could have a long-term thing maybe.
I was gonna say I think Knuckles' primary fraught relationship is gonna be with like a dog or something.
That's funny.
I think
It's funny because in real life that would be Knuckles' problem.
Yeah.
Him and
the
dogs
bane of
would
his
have bad
existence
vibes.
and the object of all his desires would be
A dog.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's pretty fun. I think Knuckles. Okay, I could be totally wrong, and this show's on Peacock. But it's recently come to my attention that I think there's a show on Paramount Plus that's like a whole show starring Adam Pally and Steph Curry.
What?
And my pitch is that this show and that show are connected.
Oh, they're in the same universe.
Because I think a natural person for Knuckles to hang out with is Adam Pally.
Oh, for sure.
And then an awesome cameo for Knuckles to hang out with is Steph Curry.
right.
So I think that just works.
I'm kind of like, because I was shocked that Sonic was hanging out with James Marsden, because that
Really?
that doesn't feel right to me.
I think it's the same reason that James Marsden had to be the celeb in Jury Duty. James Marsden also has to hang out in Sonic.
Yeah, it's punishment.
Yeah.
It's punishment for being
for
like,
him, you think?
Yeah. He's locked in like this weird place of like, he's too pretty to like take the roles he really wants, I think. So he's like trying to redefine himself.
But he's a
as being,
likable
like,
guy.
He's likable.
We love him.
But I still think he's like too pretty. Like he can't be Seth Rogen. I think in his heart he kind
No.
of wants to be like a Seth
Oh, you
Rogen.
think he wants to be bad and burp and stuff?
Yeah.
James, don't burp.
Yeah.
I would hate that.
I think Paul Rudd is in a very similar space.
Yeah, can't burp.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, hey, you know what? I love James Marsden.
I do too.
And I think the idea of like you go to LA for Jury Duty, you meet James Marsden, you're Knuckle or you're Sonic and you're in LA, you meet James Marsden. I buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Maybe Knuckles needs to meet a James Marsden type too. And maybe it is Adam. Well, no, Adam
I think it's
Pally
Adam
is-
Pally playing a character.
Okay.
And it's like, I don't know if it's the same Adam Pally that's in the Steph Curry show. That doesn't make sense. But
Okay.
it's just someone like that is who I think Knuckles
I
should
kind of
hang out
want Knuckles to go so far the opposite direction. He's meeting like a Timothy Chalamet type.
Oh, in Vegas? What would Timothy do in Vegas is the trouble, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He has to be a Vegas type person.
No one really is a Vegas type person.
Well, I think Adam Pally could like run the hot dog stand outside of the Sphere where Knuckles is doing bodyguard stuff, and they have like a hot dog relationship.
I think he should be with like a young up and coming star who has a residency in Vegas.
A pop star girl.
Yeah. Or
sort
like
of a Haley Steinfeld, Ariana Greenblatt.
But it could also be like a boy, like a young, like One Direction-y boy.
I think the thing is, boy pop stars need to be in a group maybe to be on TV. Is that crazy to say that I think a solo boy pop star isn't compelling?
I think it could be if it's like a rapper, like a...
Oh, Knuckles can hang out with a rapper. That's for sure.
Like a little white boy rapper.
I think he could be black.
He could be black too. I'm picturing Timothy Chalamet still, I'll be honest.
You want them to hang out.
Yeah.
That's your true slash is Timothy times Knuckles. Okay, interesting. I would Knuckles hang out with like a schlubby guy.
Yeah, no, I think that makes too much sense.
Or a cunty girl.
Okay, yeah.
And then maybe if it's like a cunty girl pop star, he can like protect her from...
You know what?
Creepy the kidnappers.
I also would love Knuckles to hang out with like an old man.
Yeah, I think there's room for all of these people to be in Knuckles' life. Is what's gorgeous about this show. There's 6 episodes,
but he gets kidnapped.
Yeah. Why do you think he gets kidnapped?
That's a good question. I think he sees something he shouldn't see.
Whoa! Knuckles sees someone gets whacked or something. Oh my god, he didn't prevent it with his knuckles?
I think he like kind of wanted to, but
it's like an anti-hero thing where he's grappling with like, why didn't I act? I'm Knuckles.
He doesn't realize yet that with great power comes great
responsibility. He's drinking heavier. He's chain smoking.
He has a stubble.
Yeah, whatever that looks like, because he's all fur. He's going through it. In my version of Knuckles, what I wanted to see, so I imagine a world where Sonic is James Marsden in my mind, if that makes sense.
Like
Sonic is like in LA. He drives a convertible even though he goes fast. He can sometimes drive a convertible.
No, he's a hot shot for sure.
He wears sunglasses. He does stop to get an espresso. And like
he doesn't need more caffeine.
He loves it though, and he's just being like that. He's an LA guy in my mind.
Yeah,
Sonic's doing that.
If he had a car, it'd be a Tesla, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. He's modern, but in my mind, Sonic is chilling in LA, and then when he needs to go work it out, he hits Route 66, empty stretches of highway, goes fast. I don't know what.
Maybe Sonic has a corporate job now too. He's stuck in the office all day,
and he's so productive because he goes fast.
Yeah.
Maybe he goes fast at various tasks. I don't know. I don't know.
He's so fast with the spreadsheets.
And people are like, wow, our productivity levels are through the roof.
Yeah. He wears glasses now.
Oh, no. Oh, I don't want Sonic to get used by these corporations, like all of us. So I imagine that's what Sonic's doing in LA. And Knuckles, as Sonic's rowdier, trashier, like cousin, is holding down Vegas. Okay. I think in my mind, each of the Sonic characters has their own major city. Maybe Shadow's in like Portland or something. Oh. And they
West Coast.
Can meet up easy. Because of the portals and because of fastness.
They all go to Tahoe together.
That's nice. That's nice. But I think I want Knuckles to be a magician.
Of course
you do. What he does, of course I do. And what he does with his knuckles is he makes stuff disappear, but it's actually he just punches it into clouds of dust between his knuckles. And that's his big trick. It's crazy stuff, like a piano. And he's like... And then there's no piano anymore. What the hell?
Well, you want Knuckles to be a sideshow freak in Vegas?
He's a main show freak.
Okay.
He is loving it. They're being like, Mr. Knuckles, call time's in 10. He's like, thank you, 10. And he's like putting rings on the knuckles.
So he's also slaying.
He's a successful magician.
Okay.
And I think that is why he gets kidnapped.
Whoa.
I see him wearing a cute little hat, like a top hat and full magician regalia, and he's like working at a nice casino, and he's like a main stage type guy. And I think a funny joke they could do in the movie is like, who's a modern like big magician? Do we have any left? Penn and Teller, are they magic?
Yeah.
Okay. My imagination is that Penn and Teller opens for Knuckles.
Wow.
Like in the show.
They would hate that. They would not be in the show.
You don't think they would do that?
They have a high opinion of themselves.
Maybe Chris Angel, someone would do it. And I think that Knuckles is the main magician. And I kind of think it's like Knuckles, everyone's mad because everyone only wants to see Knuckles' tricks.
Yeah.
They're sick of the human magicians. Or Knuckles sees something he shouldn't see, but it's like how this guy does his famous Houdini trick.
Oh.
And then gets involved in the magic underworld. And is kidnapped because of that. That's what I want to see. Is Knuckles interacting with a bunch of weird magician evil people, and like Adam Pally has to come save him from magic underworld.
Adam Pally's like his agent or something.
That's funny. That's pretty funny.
His magician
His
agent.
magician agent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Damn.
And yeah, I think his enemy is a human magician, and just because I think Jim Carrey has a certain gravitas and is Sonic's enemy,
Yeah.
I think Knuckles' enemy should be Viola Davis.
Whoa! And she's a magician?
Yeah, she's a powerful female. She runs the magician
Okay.
underworld.
I like the idea too. Maybe everyone hates Knuckles because they're like, how is he doing it?
And he's like, I just punch it with my hands. And
And
everyone's
they're-
like, you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
They're not familiar with his strength.
Yeah. But they accept his appearance, which I think is kind of beautiful. I also like the idea of Knuckles not being a freak because of the way he looks, but rather because of his magical talents.
They're too good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought in Sonic World they lived among us in a chill way.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's not like, oh my god, what is that? It's like, oh hey Sonic, you're back at the gym.
Like kind of like the Pokemon movie,
Yeah,
Detective Pikachu.
it's cash.
Yeah.
That's what I was imagining.
Okay.
But there's so few of them, we don't know they have Pokemon-like abilities. So
Yeah.
we're being mystified by what Knuckles
Totally.
can do. And maybe also, Knuckles is like a really loud clapper, and he can't help it. And so when he goes to other people's shows and claps, everyone thinks he's being like a dick.
And also they're deafened.
They're like, it's performative.
Mm.
And sure, they're deafened.
I like
But
the
I think everyone
idea.
resents him.
Also, if Knuckles is the only one of his kind in the area, maybe
Mhm.
everyone's just like doesn't want to be rude, and they're not being like, "Why do you look like
What
that?"
are you?
Yeah,
That's
Maybe
nice.
Everyone's being really polite.
That's really
to
good then,
Knuckles.
that they're acting like that.
Yeah, they're acting right.
Good
around
people
Knuckles.
in Vegas.
Yeah.
Treating Knuckles with respect and dignity like he deserves.
Yeah.
But that's what happens in my imagination. And I think the sphere should be like, I don't think it's like, maybe someone takes all the energy from the sphere or something too, and we're like, that's bad. They're going to use it for worse stuff than showing like Bono on
Maybe
the
it's
sphere.
Viola Davis.
She's going to do her biggest trick of all with the
Mhm.
sphere. But it's like disappearing Knuckles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Something like that. Turning Knuckles to dust.
she has to
For the
win
sake of magic.
also to win like the great magician competition of
the
2024 and
Yeah.
become the master magician, whatever.
And it's underworld style, like
Yeah.
in Now You See Me, where it's like to be the master magician, you do have to kill a little
Yeah,
red
yeah, yeah,
alien
yeah,
guy. Yeah.
They got to get their hands dirty.
You have to get your hands dirty to be master
Yeah.
magician 2024.
I also think we could introduce like the other, because I'm sure the rings I know about from Sonic, I'm sure there's other like artifacts, like magical artifacts.
that could be involved.
Yeah.
Well, a ring. Imagine if Knuckles had a ring. He could disappear on stage. Come on. He could come back with a mushroom chair.
Mm-hmm.
Stop.
That would be so adorable and whimsical.
These card people have nothing to
Mhm.
compete with that.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. Okay. Also, just to bring it really home, do the Sonic characters wear gloves like Mickey Mouse or no? No, because Knuckles' hands are just red. Knuckles.
Yeah.
What I wanted to say, does Sonic wear shoes?
Ah, that's a good question. I don't know. We should look it up.
Let's check. Okay, so it's been revealed to me that in the video game world, they do wear gloves and shoes and socks.
Damn.
But what I was going to say is,
Why are they naked except for their shoes?
they don't accessorize because he's got to pound the pavement. You can't be, that'd be so, his little feet would be raw.
So you wait, I have a question.
What?
Does that mean if nudists exist, like if we're like in a nudist society, we would
Yeah.
still wear shoes?
Yeah. Real nudists carry around a towel to sit on. So they don't have to put their butthole on stuff. Pretty nice.
Yeah, cats and dogs not doing that.
They're not doing that. But if you're a nudist, it's funny because you wear Birkenstocks and then you have to carry around a towel. So your accessories are built in, even though you're naked.
But then I feel like that puts the nudity into like higher relief because you're like, I refuse to cover up my junk, but I will
wear
put
shoes
and have a towel for my butthole.
Yeah.
But I won't even wrap the towel around my waist. Or
It's not about
anything.
the visuals. It's about residues. They're living different. It's just a different life.
Yeah.
But also, the Sonic characters don't have genitals or, to my knowledge, buttholes.
What?
So they're allowed to just be out there.
I'm pretty sure they eat food though.
Sonic
so
has
where's it
Sonic
going?
has a bare fleshy belly.
Okay.
It's
I
going
don't want
in
to see
there.
that.
Maybe he just runs it off. Maybe he doesn't have to poop because he runs it off.
I also think most hedgehogs have like 6 nipples.
Sonic doesn't have any nipples.
That's fine.
I prefer it that way. I think that's why most of us are like, we have to wear clothes is because of
nipples
and nuts. Stuff dangling is offensive.
Just
You
like
know?
yeah.
Just like the truck nuts.
Just like the
That's why when
truck.
you see them, they're untoward.
At least they don't have truck nipples. Am I right?
Yeah, I say that. Ew, where would they even? I don't even want to think about where they would go. Ew. Well,
Well,
this has been Happenstance
in
Pod.
pod. You got twofer.
Bye.
Bye. Happenstance.